Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse, and in today's segment we are going to be discussing dehydration. Dehydration is something that is not particularly glitzy or glamorous. It's not as fantastic as gunshot wounds in the sense that it is not so dramatic, perhaps, but it is a killer. And one thing that I think it behooves us all to keep in mind is that in any type of disaster scenario, things that typically were very easily remedied with a quick trip to the ER, what have you, those might turn into the things that kill us because we are not as vigilant for them as we otherwise would be, because we're used to being able just to pop on over to the ER. When there is no ER, or when the ERs are overwhelmed, understaffed, or undersupplied, like in Katrina or choose your random hurricane, you are probably less likely to be able to get the care that you otherwise would receive, and due to that, your mortality rates for relatively innocuous things like what we would call dehydration now, they're going to go up. So one thing that we need to consider when we are looking practically at positioning ourselves to have an easier chance for survival if times get tough, or even if they don't, is, as Jack Spirko likes to say, we need to take steps, and we need to mentally wrap our heads around what dehydration looks like and how we intervene to stop it. I was at a training event this past weekend, and most of the events outside, it was a firearms training event. Most of the events were outside, and a lot of the people were getting very, very dehydrated, coinciding, unfortunately, with a really nasty form of food poisoning that looked curiously like listeria. It was a perfect storm, and quite a few people ended up needing alternative forms of hydration, including a couple of them who had to have IV fluid resuscitation. So we need to keep stock of this, or I guess I should say we need to think about this when we're considering our preps. So it is worth saying that hydrating people is exceptionally important. We need to make sure that we have a readily available clean source of water to hydrate folks with. We also need to be replacing their electrolytes when they are sweating them out via sweat or from diarrhea. Dehydration can happen just from being outside, but it can happen when you're losing fluid either from up top or from bottom. So we need to be replenishing people's fluids when they're going low. When you know you're going to be outside, make sure that you bring along something to especially down here in the south because it's really hot, something to keep those electrolytes in. Vitalite is a really neat product. I know you can get it at Tactical Response. You can probably also find it online, but it's a good powder to mix along with your fluids whenever you're replenishing your electrolytes and wanting to do that. It's really an important thing, and in order to adequately hydrate people, we have to, again, keep in mind the obvious that you got to have clean water. It doesn't make any sense to hydrate somebody with water that's going to give them some sort of infection. So again, we need to keep in mind that when we are looking ahead for our preps, water is paramount here. It's a good thing to keep in mind in general, but especially for the summer months, and also when we are envisioning long-term scenarios, we need to be keeping stock of our water supplies, and we need to make sure that we've got backups. I've talked to a lot of people, and I've got my Berkey. Okay, great. How about your extra filters? It's a good thing. Have extra supplies on hand to be able to deal with when your stock is run low and when it's time to change out the filters. If you use your filters with dirtier water, you're going to go through more filters more quickly. So just a thing to keep in mind. So just a few thoughts for today on dehydration. Eventually I'm going to get back to using my good high quality camera. I just haven't had the ability to do that, and I'm still recovering from Paul's death, so I'm just trying to put the videos up for you guys as I can. But I hope it's been helpful for you today, and for now it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.